So I want to kind of dive into the beginning of your career. I know you mentioned, the first 3 years you're grinding. Did you have, success? I know you had, friends weren't using you and people that you knew weren't using you. Kind of dive into your first couple years, success, struggles.
So the first, 2006 to 2017, I was doing probably 1 or 2 houses a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just like a part. I did stuff for friends or just a couple here and there. And then in 2017, I said, oh, you know what? I was basically part time. I think I did 2016. I said, you know what? I started stepping away because I knew I was in contract to sell the Subway, and I did 12 deals that year at the end of the last 4 months of the year. And I was like, oh, that's cool, 3 a month. That's awesome. And then the following year, I did 12, then I did 24 the following year. I wasn't really full time yet because I was still at the Subway for the half of the year. It didn't sell till mid 2017. So I did 24 that year. Then 2018, I did 32 transactions. And then the following year, 32 again. And then last year was 58, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 58. And I did almost 24 million
Okay.
in volume. So that's where I was. And that's how I've grown. And I haven't even scratched the surface.
How did you, when you decided to go full time, what was the decision of, how you were going to go and build your business?
Coaching, mentors, and what I did first, I went to a 9-day boot camp by Joshua Smith, who is out in Arizona.
GSD mode.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So GSD. So I had that. That was one of the boot camps that I've done. That was the first coaching program that I hired outside of that when I was with Keller Williams. That was the first coaching program, and I did really well. So I focused on for sale by owners, some expireds, just going out there and just hustling, man, just talking to people and just asking. But for sale by owners was it. But then I think a lot of people don't realize the power of an open house, right? The open house is where you meet the neighbors, where you meet the community, where you get to meet people. It's all about people, man. Get your face in front of people. And it's that simple. And I was just talking to a lot of people, but it was for sale by owners and open houses, I think, were the two things that helped me out the most in the beginning. And they still do. I mean, those are tried and true. And if you just focus on that, you could, at minimum, you could sell 30 homes a year.
Yeah. Joshua Smith was, I built my business on internet leads, and, that's not a fun thing, right? Like, people are like, oh, you're so good at it. I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. Like, I just got, it was just what paid, it's how I got business. It's, what paid me. Right. And, so what I had to do is I had to, do an hour long, typically what I had to do is an hour long training before I ever jumped on the phones, just to get my head straight and get into real estate. And what I would do is I'd come into the office by 8 o'clock. From 8 to 9, I'm watching some sort of video training, whatever it is, whatever I could find, just to get into the real estate mindset. Then I would jump into calls at 9 o'clock. And Joshua Smith was one of those people in early in my career that I would watch and just watch him interview, different agents across the country. And I remember,
this reminds me, the podcast. This right now reminds me of his podcast.
Exactly, right.
He slowed down with it right now, but this is exactly like it.
This is exactly it. Look, I tell agents all the time, you got to rip off and duplicate, right?
That's why don't reinvent the wheel. Just make it your own, because there's so many people, right?
Yeah.
You're doing a fantastic job, man.
Yeah. And I remember this one, he was I don't remember the agent's name, but it was like Vancouver, Canada or somewhere. He was interviewing an agent, and the guy's like, look, I'm going to pass up a $2-3 million listing if that appointment falls within my prospecting time, because my prospecting time, I'm going to make more than that $2 to $3 million listing is going to bring me. And like, that's something that's just always stuck with me. And what's one of the first things that agents will skip on in their day, if an appointment pops up, a showing pops up, a listing, prospecting, right? No one likes doing that. But that was one of the things that, early on in my career that, time management that became important to me was, I wasn't great at it every single day. I didn't hit it every single day, but that prospecting time became, it was a can't miss appointment in my calendar. But yeah,
you know what? I think
that is his coaching, because I just watched it through his YouTube channel. So
I did his. So I had his coaching. I mean, he was great, Josh. And then John Cheplak, his coach, is fantastic also.
Yep.
Listen to all those guys. And every coach that out there from I've read materials, everything that's on YouTube, any coach that's out there, I've probably known them or I probably studied a little bit about them and what they've done. And you realize everyone is human and there's no difference between them and us. And then as long as you stay consistent, you got to first believe in yourself. You have to have that mindset of me, like I am good enough. I value myself. Because if you don't have that, you can't do anything. And I don't care what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
It starts first within you. Then you have to, okay, what systems and processes am I going to start doing on a daily basis to make myself better, right? I constantly, like, I have a library on wheels. Every podcast, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to negative radio. I listen to podcasts. Like, I listen to real estate podcasts. I listen to mindset, like Audible books. It's like I'm boring. Like I'm not this fun. Like people are like, oh yeah, you go out. No, I don't go out like that much. I'm like always like in my head trying to learn and try to put positive information in my head. I rewired my brain. I literally in the past 6 years, I've rewired my brain from like a negative outlook. I was like kind of pessimistic to becoming an optimistic, to thinking that, you know what, I could achieve anything if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And everything that's happened in my life, positive and negative, it's all because of here.
Yeah.
Like I created it, nobody else. You create your problems or you create your successes, and that's it. People look at that because we're the common denominator to everything that happens to us in our life.
Yeah,
and there's no one else that's gonna save you. You have to save yourself. Just listen to whoever's done it before, listen to them, just follow it, surrender, and just do it I swear to God, if they just do it, like you said, an hour a day, think about somebody prospecting an hour a day that hasn't prospected ever.
Yep.
How much business they would, with the 10 times over, 10x, like Grant Cardone says, right? They would 10x their business, right? They would 10x their business.
I love it. And part of it's, most people try to do things that they don't enjoy doing, right? The prospecting, find something that you actually enjoy doing. Or like me, like, it was the way to keep me away from a 9-to-5, to have freedom and flexibility that my friends weren't having at the age of 22 years old. They were still clocking in, clocking out at work, and I was doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, and so for me, it was like, hey, I'll suck it up and do it. And then I just got comfortable with it. Right. And that, then